everyone. My name is Shin Mizukoshi, professor of the University of Tokyo. My major is media studies and media literacy. And I'm very honored to be here, and thank you very much for all the committee members and the supporting students and the other staffs. I very much thank you for you, and this is a very fabulous conference, and also the Institute's idea is very unique. And today, my presentation is a kind of the discussion about one of the critical workshop which I've done in this couple of years. And frankly speaking, my presentation is not directly connected to Henri Lefebvre. But when I was invited, I saw the title, Another Walk with Henri Lefebvre, and it's fantastic. And Lefebvre is, for me, my 80s, memory. Because when I was in the undergraduate first year, my major is cultural studies and anthropological studies or something like that, then shifted to the media studies. But before that, I have been engaging in a kind of today's words like user experience analyst in an anthropological way of the product design area. So I was working and doing the undergraduate for about 10 years. And the very first year, teenage, I was given the book of the urban revolution and the right to the urbanism and the production of space or so that in 1981 or so. In Japan, the translation of Henri Lefebvre was mainly done in 70s. And that kind of thing is my first contact to Henri Lefebvre. And what I am now doing is media studies and literacy studies, and very different from that. But the point is that everyday life, the things, what I've done as a user experience researcher in the production, product design company is that try to figure out and visualize the presentiment or the trace of people's behavior in everyday life, the dirty spot of this kind of place, or the breaking the display of the iPhone or something like that. This kind of symptom or presentiment kind of things, very micro level, things are the kind of the very important clue for producing new design. And that kind of the perspective, focusing on the very, ordinary boredom things, is which I learned from Lefebvre. And so I can say I have a long detour walk with Lefebvre, kind of things. And today, we are entangled by the, digital media platforms, so on. And I am a media studies researcher and media theory. There are many colleagues of mine, and but because I have been engaging in the media literacy activity for more than 15 years, and I am very skeptical. Rural junior high school students is the knowledge is lower than the university professor like me, So, yeah, we are talking about the Facebook or WeChat, but the way of the usage of the Facebook or WeChat is very different from person to person. But we think that in a very abstract way, I'm thinking about the very power of the Facebook or something like that in a very logical way. But do we really bodily understand the situation? That is a point I'd like to put on the table before you. We really understand it? For example, back to I still remember clearly when the Facebook introduced the timeline interface. Not 10 years ago, it's 5 years ago or so. I remember my feeling of wrongness. Oh, Facebook is, following the Twitter. At that time, Twitter is going in this way. So timeline is something, but Facebook is not introducing timeline. I remember that day as chronologically, but I couldn't remember the feeling, or how shall I say, my everyday life experience before the timeline introduction to the Facebook. I couldn't remember, everything. When I have the first mobile phone, I remember the date or a year, but I couldn't remember before that. I'm like an android of the Blade Runner, isn't it? I'm a human being, believe me. But I couldn't remember those kind of the transition of the media ecology or the infrastructure. So the point is how to understand bodily, not only the high school students, university students, but professors, senior people, policemen, everyone. So how to bodily understand the transition or understand something critically about the media platform or media ecology, that is very important point and very difficult. So media literacy, I will now go to another discussion about tracing very briefly about my background to develop the project of the media literacy. In 2001, I established a MEL project, Media Expression Learning and Literacy Project in Japan. It's an independent nonprofit organization, not attached to the university. And after that, we developed another transition organization, MELPLATS. And the mission of them is that network hub of all Japan's media literacy activities, because educational area, critical area like the media literacy or cultural studies, they are not familiar each other. And high school education, kindergarten education, not each other. Media activism, citizens movement, they don't care about the school because school is a place for the surveillance or something like that. So we need a network and hybrid media literacy, digital, analog, urban, local, Japan, other place, and try to do this kind of thing in a guerrilla-like way. And this is a kind of the formation, I am belonging to the media studies, and some of my colleagues in pedagogy, educational studies. But we need really the media practitioners, journalists, activists, and also people who take in charge of the non-profit organization or NGO or public access activity in the citizen society. We need those kind of the people. So we try to connect them each other, and this is one dimension of our activities. The project that we put the name project, but this red colored one is, please think this as a project. It's a conglomerate of the project. And we are connecting to many other countries, university or citizens group or kind of things. And totally there are 80 persons taking charge of the MEL project. About 2,000, our, relative, funds or something like that. And we develop those kind of things. And there are many, activities over there, but one of the things I would like to show you briefly is that we make a kind of the declaration, how to do the media literacy in the 21st century, with collaboration with Taiwanese eminent, media researcher and media literacy professors and the Korean professors. So the Chinese character is different from here, isn't it? Yeah, and. I don't examine in a very in detailed way but literacy is sometimes a mode or code or norm. So teaching literacy is, how to watch the CCTV's news in a right way. That's very dangerous idea, isn't it? So we need a play connected to the literacy or practice. Is very important. Don't think the media only on the head and in a very ideological way. That's one point. And the other point is that, we need, they are trumpeting that the critical reception, critical understanding of media is very important. Yes, very important. The how to be critical. Superficial criticism, there are many now on the social media. But we really need the experience of expression and practice, and then reception, or this kind of cyclical nature is very important. Creation and criticism kind of things, and these are the things we discussed in this declaration. And yes, we finished this project for about 10 years after, and but nationwidely, the how shall we say, Baru or Caesar Sketcher, and they are doing very touch on the ground and doing something in the local cities or in very specific sectors. And then I think we may apply our knowledge or the experience of the media literacy into the understanding of the media infrastructure or the platform. It's very tough, but yeah, I think this is the next stage for the thinking about the media literacy. And in 2015, the second largest advertisement agency in Japan, I don't know why, but they collaborate with us to make a joint project. And some, business person in that ad agency is a producer of the propaganda or something like that, isn't it? But some of them are very critical about the future of the company and future of the society. And we collaborate each other, and and I made a very, how shall I say, fantasy-like workshop. The title is Media Landscape Without Apple. At the very first time, I asked about 15 people to get together. And we make 3 groups. And to try to think about this one. If the Apple had vanished from our planet in 2007, and iPhone did not emerge or launched, what happened at that time, 2015, media landscape? Or for example, this year, 2017, and make some scenario to get together interdisciplinary way or socially connected way, and make some movie or slides or something like that. And it must be very interesting for the student here to do this one. Please think about this one deeply. It's not so easy. So this is my original ideas. I wrote this one on my whiteboard in my laboratory, this kind of thing. And the suggestion is only 3. One is that, make 3 groups, and one is the sector of life and culture and public and governance, and third one is business and industry. And do not make a rosy information society, not only dark, but a kind of alternative everyday life, And, do co-creation. It's sometimes very hard between the, computer scientist and the business person and the graphic designer. And like this kind of things. And this is a formal educational classroom for the graduate school in the University of Tokyo. And I am taking charge of the workshop design and teaching the graduate school student about how to design the workshop and how to evaluate the workshop in a very transdisciplinary way, from the agricultural studies to the history and the kind of things. And I will show a video briefly, and unfortunately it's in Japanese, so I just try to show the atmosphere. media historian, cognitive scientist. Yeah, kind of things. Yes, I will stop. Yeah. And I would like to show you a bit details about their, achievements. About half a year, they attended several lectures of the wearable computing to the media history, educational technology, so on, and go to the company, go to the technologies, real world or so, and they try to collaborate each other. And I asked them 3 to 5 minutes video, but they make 15 minutes video or so on. And for example, this is a group of business and industry group, cognitive scientist, ad agencies, copywriter. She's an ad planner. He's a researcher, assistant professor of the Farm Village Planner. And he's a think tank researcher, but also the MA course student. His topic is toy studies. And they are trying to collaborate each other. And for example, making this kind of video. So it's also in Japanese, so just show you some atmosphere. Mobile vs personal digital assistants. The competition of the input method. Yes, so this kind of, they are talking about this kind of things, and how can I say in English? This is a pencil box for the elementary school students. It became digitalized. And many educational companies collapsed because of the diffusion of this kind of things, and pens and rings. Rings became the app, and these students use this kind of things for the accessories, and yeah. So this kind of people need some, this kind of public telephone box became different. And we don't need real advertisement. And this kind of bottle, tumbler, became the Wi-Fi. And yes, umbrella with a solar system. And there is a big trouble between the umbrella owners and the subway or so. This kind of thing is a result of this group. And next team is life and culture team, and graphic designer, urban engineer, and artist. And he is a data analyst in the big data industry in Japan. And the light guy is a wearable computing engineer. And they are trying to make so they make a alternative chronology And Steve Jobs came to Japan and entered the Zen temple and then see the, you know this character? Yeah. And he was so surprised and he think the in Japanese, the Doraemon has a pocket here. And he tried to make the eye pocket for that. Yeah. And so first, it's very happy story, but from from the midst, they are thinking the human being is going to be mutate with this eye pocket, and so putting here the pocket or kind of things. Yeah, so this kind of things. So it's they seriously discuss that there is no other way but the human body is going to be mutate from the today's figure. And last is public governance and a public and governance group, art producer and kind of thing. And the tall guy is the very executive of the ad agency, and they are making a very interesting discussion. And I will not show you a video to keep this time. And their scenario is like this. Here is a chronological examination, alternative, chronology, and the red one is at 2007. And what they discuss is that first, they try to re-examine the significance of the iPhone or smartphone. And what they found is very normal, that it's the center of our life space or so. And without the iPhone's emergence, they believe that the PC, personal computer, still survive as a position and role of the iPhone and a kind of the replacement. And so there is no big change for the input method. But what they are focusing on is, sensor devices. And in 2008, the ministry, the national ministry in Japan, tried to, introduce a new, central server system called Mimamo, which is for taking care of the people. But actually, it's a tool for surveillance. And that's exposed under 2011's March 11 earthquake in Japan and Fukushima's incident. And then there is a Buddhist who was a former hacker, try to make P2P systems another alternative, system, Mimamoru. Mimamoru is a verb in Japan for care also. So Mimamo and Mimamoru are competing each other in Japan, and some local government try to use not the central government one, but Mimamoru, the hackers one, in Fukushima and Okinawa, southern island, long time occupied by U.S. base, and this making a kind of the rebellion to the central government or so. And so of course this kind of thing is a fantasy and sci-fi like things, but making this kind of the scenario, you have to think about the world in a structural way, or with a bird's eye view or so on. And this is the things I've done in another graduate school in the local city. Most of my students are Chinese and Mongolian and Syrian. I don't know why, but and they couldn't make the video because making the video is very need expert skills. But they made this kind of things, and yeah. So this is a simulation of the family member how to use the everydays, how to use the new alternative things in their daily life or so. And it's very interesting. I will not tell you in detail about the methodology or the evaluation of the workshop, but we did a long interview before and after them. And what we found is that many have a very satisfied with this kind of activities. The reason is because if I do this kind of thing in the research laboratory in the university, supervisor or professor said, no, you don't do this. It's not kind of the master thesis or kind of things. You should introduce your discipline, your methodology in our laboratory. Don't collaborate with agricultural media artists or such kind of, you don't have the time. So I will reject your idea of this kind of thing. So this kind of sci-fi-like thing was strictly prohibited in a very orthodox or classical graduate school, not in our graduate school. And also the company persons said the same thing, that it's very interesting and it's refreshing and it's like a rehabilitation of their thinking body. But if I try to make this kind of the plan in the business scene, upper people will reject this kind of things because it's not realistic or so. But so they say those kind of things, and they want to elaborate this kind of idea more thick and deeply. And I will go to the last part of my presentation. That there are some significance in this kind of workshop. Of course, this is only one workshop, and I don't believe that this can cover whole the literacy. We need several levels or several kind of the types of the workshop, which will be systematized in the near future to make some opportunity for the people to understand or learning. But one point is that defamiliarization of familiar thing. It's very, very basic but important things. Defamiliarize the existence of iPhone or smartphone. It's very hard. Without doing this kind of critical examination, only doing the empirical research of the diffusion of the iPhone or something like that is, roughly speaking or extremely speaking, I think nothing. Empirical research and the philosophical or theoretical research should combine each other. Then we need this kind of the defamiliarization opportunities, very important. And the other thing is that this is a kind of the meteorological imagination, and it's not only the technology is a key factor, but not only the technology, but political economy or cultural situation is very, very important factor to construct the platform and everyday life's media figure or forum very much. And that kind of imagination is very important, and we did some success in cultivating those kind of things. And also aware the possibility to redesign the media infrastructure by general people themselves. Well, doing this kind of fantastic play, they talk to each other and, oh, can we do it? Can we do something to make alternative things? Because you're a business person, you have the expertise, and if we collaborate each other, we can make alternative to the Twitter or Facebook or something like that. That kind of ambition or confidence is very important for learning or educational situation. And this is very hard. So the Seymour Papert said that this is a hard fun, and I think this is really the hard fun. And I believe this is not academic achievement opportunity, production opportunity, or business planning, but this kind of workshop make a kind of the base camp for critical thinking for business or for academic development or something like that. And also, creating a new idea collaboratively with transdisciplinary way is very important. So only the engineering grad school student, the output is not so fantastic, but collaborating different sectors, people is very important. And this is a surface, front page of our little magazine, which we are now selling at the reception. It was the latest one after the victory of the Trump and the Brexit. And there are many analysis, social scientific analysis, what happened in the Rust Belt in the United States or so. That's very important. But at the same time, we need to think about what's our next step, well, next move. It's not only, we don't depend only for the government or industry or engineers, but also the humanities or social scientific people try to do something in the next move. And one of my colleagues, David Buckingham, who is a leading scholar of the media literacy in UK, contributed essay. It's very interesting. He said, Shin, it's not the day of media literacy. Media literacy is only focusing on the micro point. We should think about Facebook or Twitter as a public infrastructure, a public medium. We should ask them to pay tax or something like that. We need a policy. And those kind of infrastructural, macro level or political, economical examination is very needed. And that kind of macro level activities and the micro level activities are connected each other. That kind of thing is very needed, is what David said. And I really agree to him. This is my last slide, and I am now, this is an ongoing workshop, and we should examine carefully how to redesign about this kind of thing. And this is rather big and heavy workshop. And we need more light one, or middle one, or kind of things. We need a kind of workshop kit for, disseminate. And so I am now I'm now going to engage in the literacy study for media infrastructure or platform. And also, it's a coincidence, but there is the keyword, the platform cooperativism. It's hard to pronounce, so PC, I will abbreviate. PC was trumpeted by Trevor Schultz, who was in this first annual conference last year. And I am going to collaborate with him and some of my Japanese colleagues to try to launch a PC Japan. And it's not the children company like things of the United States. We have our own context, and they don't care so much about the educational or learning process. We are really much concerned about the learning process, not only for the young people or general layperson, but expert people also need a re-education program or re-learning opportunity to be survived in this complex media ecology. And the last point is the right to image, or we can do our imagination. The power of imagination is very important thing. Even though something is not realistic, but if we take all the things around us as a take for granted, natural, transparent artificial objects or software, that's not good. We need a critical understanding. Critical understanding is not cynically think about the media products, but try to reimagine or imagine the alternative, social figure of the media. And that is a very important point, I think, in this planet now. Thank you very much.